let's now reveal and unveil those who will be enshrined in Springfield in September. One of the great scorers in the history of the game, Carmelo Anthony, more than 28,000 points. That's top 10 in NBA history. Final Four he knows a little something about, too, as a freshman led Syracuse to the national championship in 2003. Carmelo Anthony going into the Hall of Fame. This is not just about getting buckets, though certainly Dwight Howard could. He also stopped people from getting them 3 times. He was the NBA Defensive Player of the Year. All NBA, 1 gold medals. Did a little bit on both ends of the floor, and he was Superman. Could fly and put on a dunk show as well. Dwight Howard is going into the Hall of Fame. Billy Donovan, 2-time national championship coach and the winningest coach in Florida history. For the last decade, he's been a coach in the NBA with both the Thunder and the Bulls. Billy Donovan, who will join us later on, going into the Hall of Fame, joining this group of legends going in, the great Sue Bird, who defined excellence. Sue Bird, the WNBA's all-time leader in wins, in games, assists. She won championships in college. She won championships in the WNBA. And now Sue Bird has her place forever immortalized as a member of this Hall of Fame class. Another UConn legend going in, Maya Moore. She, too, knows all about championships. In 8 seasons with the Lynx, 4 times, cut down the nets. That's the WNBA champion. Maya Moore could do a little bit of everything, won 90 games in a row in college at UConn, both a college and professional legend as she goes in to the Hall of Fame. Sylvia Fowles from LSU. And also the WNBA, 2 times she won the championship like Dwight Howard, one of the great defensive players in the history of the sport. She goes into the Hall of Fame with this group, a fitting conclusion to her tremendous career. And now the rest of the 2025 class for this Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, the Redeem Team. U.S. Olympic team from the 2008 Olympics. Mike Krzyzewski coached them. Coach K will join us a little bit later on. Danny Crawford, one of the great officials in the history of the game, goes in as a contributor. So too the owner of the Miami Heat, and Mickey Arison, who's owned the Heat since '95 and helped guide the franchise to 3 championships. So that's the class. As you look at it, what's the first reaction to this this tremendous group?
It's amazing how this class touches every aspect of the game. Some of the game's greatest scorers, some of the game's greatest defenders and rebounders, and some of the game's greatest champions, including the 2008 U.S. Olympic team and how that changed USA basketball. Just a tremendous class for the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame.
It'll be one of the compelling conversations that we'll have later on when Coach K joins us to talk about that team. But leading off our guest today, and we'll start on offense because this is an offensive game with a defensive component, and very few people put the ball in the bucket the way the great Carmelo Anthony did. Carmelo Anthony, Syracuse, an NBA legend, going into the Hall of Fame.
With the 3rd pick, the Denver Nuggets select
Carmelo Anthony, right wing 3-ball, got it!
Either give me the jump shot or give me the drive to the lane.
Picked up by Melo, drives, dunks! 62 points for Carmelo Anthony.
He's the first person to play in 4 Olympics, win 3 gold medals on the basketball stage.
You take Melo. Carmelo Anthony, red hot.
He's open on the right side, takes a 3, yes!
If I had to defend me, I would take the night off.
There are a lot of people who felt that way. Top 10 scorer in NBA history, the 4 Olympic medals that you mentioned. He's one of 4 players to score 10,000 points with 2 different NBA franchises, and he scored the 3rd most points in United States Olympic basketball history. And we're pleased to be joined by now Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo, this is a foregone conclusion for a lot of us who watched it. We knew you were going to be a Hall of Famer, but I still am always fascinated by what's the reaction like for someone like you when you hear the word officially.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's steps that you have to take, right? You hear about it, somebody leak it, you hear it online, and then it's like the official call have to come. So when the call comes and you see, in my case, I saw Springfield on the phone, right? So it's like, you know what time it is when Springfield is on the phone. You know what it is. You get the phone call and you hear you're in. And I think for me that, it was just a burden off of my kind of just shoulders and just I can relax and breathe and just, I'm satisfied. This is, all the hard work that I put in for not just the 20 years in the NBA, but, for 32 years that I've been playing this game of basketball. So to be able to be in the moment and understand what this assignment really is about, for me, I'm a fan of the game. I'm a fan of all the guys and the girls that's in the Hall of Fame. And I get to be a fan, just walking around with Dr. J over there. It's like I'm having dinner with the doc, man. Coach K is over there for the men's 2008 USA team. So it's just a lot of, emotions and adrenaline that's going on right now.
When you think back over the 32-year period of your career, what stands out the most to you?
I think just perseverance and really just not giving up and understanding it's a journey and just take it day to day and understand with that journey it's ups and it's downs and it's ups and it's downs. And as long as you're able to stay solid and be true to who you are and come out on the other side of that, then the journey is worth it. And this is right here, it definitely caps the journey.
And I would imagine gratitude is a big part of that. For the people that helped you here, who stands out in that regard? I know there have been so many.
It's a lot of people. It's kind of hard to kind of think about it. But, coaches, people that my friends, close friends that I grew up with, since been together since 8 years old, who inspired me, my mom, my brothers, my kids. Like these are the people, my team that's around me, my business partners. Like these are the people who really kind of keep me going so I can be able to streamline everything and figure it out. And it allowed me to go out there and do my job on a night-to-night basis. Highly
anticipated. But to have this happen on Final Four weekend, which I'm sure brings back some memories for you to do, what's the significance of that?
Alex, this is the first Final Four that I've been to probably since I actually participated in the Final Four. So it's kind of different to see, like, the fan experience and just, again, be on the other side of the Final Four. But it brings back so many memories. I mean, you out there, you understand, being with the team in practice and, all the fans get to come to the practice. You in the team hotels and you watching the games and you watching everything that happened throughout the course of that season because you understand at this moment, this could be the one shining moment. So once you have that understanding, it makes the ride worth it.
It makes sense. I mean, he was kind of busy.
Scoring someplace. You mentioned the ups and the downs. What point in your career did you add a facet to your game that maybe you didn't know you even needed prior to that?
I would say probably year 6, 7. The facet that I added to my game, it wasn't a physical attribute. Like, it was growth. Like, I had to add growth to my game. So I had to add growth to my game as a player and as a person. So the moment that those two come together at the intersect, you understand, okay, this is my assignment. This is what I have to do. This is what I have to bring on a night-to-night basis, on a day-to-day basis to be a professional.
And can't let you get out without talking about your international basketball experience with USA Basketball. When you left USA Basketball, you were the all-time leading scorer for the United States. What was that experience like for you?
Unbelievable. I like to say I've grown up in USA Basketball. I've grown up with USA Basketball. I've been with USA Basketball since 2002 in Venezuela, and in the junior nationals, and to be able to lose with Team USA and then win with Team USA. But that 2008 situation is the reason we're able to see what's happening and enjoy what's happening today, because we really was the ones who actually had to create a culture. And Jerry Colangelo created a culture for us in 2008. And it was a big commitment that we all had to make, and we made it and we committed. And now you can see kind of everything that's been carrying on from that point.
And it wasn't just Olympic years you made that commitment. It was year after year.
I mean, you had the 3-year commitment. When you're in the NBA and you got to commit 3 years to something, that's very difficult to do. There's no off seasons. You sacrificing family. You sacrificing just your own personal time. So it's a major, major decision that you had to make. But it was easy at that point in time. It was like, I knew we lost in 02, 04, 06, and it's like, it took the Redeem team to come back and put us back to goal.
When did you realize that would be as significant to you as it is, as opposed to just something you did because you were a star?
I always understood. I'm a student of the game, so I always understood who came before me. I always knew I stood on the shoulders of the Giants. I always understood my history and the players that came before me to be able to know where do I fit in this history of the game. And once I understood that, I was able to kind of just continue to carve out my own kind of lane within this whole, broad spectrum of NBA basketball.
It's a remarkable thing that you carved out. Carmelo, congratulations. Well-deserving. Going into the Hall of Fame, my friend, Carmelo Anthony.
Thank you. Jay.
One of the great Hall of Famers. Great visit with him. And
wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, I pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA, I'm a